So to prevent this, there are various legislations have come into picture. So what you have in front of you is a representative list. Is not necessarily an exhaustive list, so to say, but it's a representative list. But as you can see that weight measures, prevention of adulteration, drugs and magic remedies, you see that cancer भी cure हो जाता है. ऐसा बोलते हैं. There are some herbal or Ayurvedic product guy. Legal Metrological Act, the Essential Commodity Acts, and ISI and EGMARK Branding Act, Indian Sale of Goods. So these are various, a lot of provisions are there, legal provisions. Okay. One new thing is this, the Legal Metrological Amendment Act, 2009. It was erstwhile known as a Package Commodities Act. This is like the most, say, updated, wherein packaging related malpractices are caught by them. So every goods which are packed comes under them, and manufacturers are responsible, and this responsibility is placed up to a executive director level. So if your organization is found to be flouting the packaging rules, okay, then the executive director level guy can be held responsible, accountable, can be arrested also. Okay, so that's why companies have got into now ensuring that the legal packaging acts are followed in toto. Curbing such practices, how can you do that? So false representation, false offer, free gifts, non-compliances and hoardings and distraction. Now these are some of the things which are not necessarily covered in the law, but customer is subjected to this. And so falsely representing things to him, offer, they say sale offer or a bargain price, etc. Free gifts on buying certain amount, etc. Or a price scheme. Compliance to the standards are not there, hoardings and destruction. So you hoard. So again, that's a kind of creating artificial scarcity or purposefully destroying the goods to create artificial scarcity, etc. So these are some of the unfair practices that also needs to be prevented, for which also various practices have come in. Okay, there are various rules have come in, and they try to prevent such practices being happening and imposed upon on the consumers. So various legal and non-legal ways are put forward to help consumers. Now other restrictive practices are cartels, market dominance and exclusive dealings. So we will understand some of them. Cartels, when you say more than one manufacturer of the same product, say tire manufacturer or this goods manufacturer, they come together, or their distributors come together. Manufacturer may not be aware, but their distributors come together, and then they create a malpractice. Malpractice could be what? Fixed pricing. So increase the price level. It will decide that nobody will sell less than at this price. So they create a price jack-up, collusive tendering. So they will tender in such a way that one of them only will get the order. And then of course there are ways and means to absorb the benefit to each of them. Market allocation, they will try to get into allocating a market. Though this guy is supposed to serve all India, but when they form a cartel, then it will be decided that south and east will be by you, north and west will be by me, or whatever, they state-wise or something. They create a market allocation. Production or sales quota. So each one will get into quota for system for them. So that the scarcity will remain, excess production will not happen, and people in the market will feel that goods are not available. Boycotts, they try to boycott some manufacturers. So they create a cartel and they will boycott. This generally happened at the distributor level. Some of the example in my past, I've seen the pharmaceutical retailer and distributor boycotting certain companies, etc. So these are other practices that various manufacturers or the channel get in, which is against the consumer. Market dominance. It's a predatory pricing, means you try to dominate the market and scheme it. You kind of create a marking which is pricing, which is grabbing the market. Market have no choice. Discriminatory pricing. You put a price as you feel, as the demand supply rises, or you without any logic you declare a price which is favoring you but not maybe favoring. Transfer pricing, tied pricing. Transfer pricing is between two units of the same organization. Now, especially this is in the multinational companies. The multinational companies, or say Indian conglomerates who are into multiple industry. So goods from one industry, the output of one industry may be a raw material for the other industry. So in such case, the transfer pricings are manipulated. Even on global level, they may utilize India as a hub to manufacture certain raw material which gets transferred because Indian labors are cheap, etc., and which is supposed to get transferred to the other body, parent company or whatever. Now they purposely put a transfer pricing unhealthy. So what happens? The Indian company will keep showing losses so that the taxes to the government is not paid, and they will extract major benefit across other part of the world. Tide selling means they will come together and try and sell the product. So market areas, etc., are decided, and accordingly sales will happen in joint allocation kind of. So that's how the tide selling. So that's the second part. Exclusive dealing, resale price maintenance. So you create some level of exclusivity for yourself between the two distributor or two manufacturers, etc. Market concentration. So again, you create an exclusive area for each one of them. Mergers, takeovers, and joint ventures. These are again exclusive dealing. You do it in a way that you create a market dominance, or you do not allow others to enter, and those kind of purpose behind interlocking directorship. So director of one company is also a director of another company, which in a way contrasting the objectives, but by doing it they try to safeguard the interest of each other, etc. So that's how that also aspect has been now contained by modifying the appointment of board of directors act, etc. So that's the exclusive dealing. So overall, under the legislative this thing, but yes, they do have certain limitations. It necessarily does not offer protection to consumers against every practice, because new and new things are also coming up, and it is difficult to establish that a specific practice is a restrictive practice. So very difficult to establish that this particular practice is a restrictive practice, because it is inter alia between two bodies, and getting the sufficient proof, etc., is at times a problem. No protection of consumers against misleading or false offers, and you really cannot pinpoint that any offer to be wrong or misleading, etc. It's upfront put up to a consumer, either you take it or leave it kind of thing. Advertisement, promotion, samples are more difficult to winning, and the contest results, etc., are also difficult to determine. Those are the things which is a legally it is difficult to proceed against anybody indulging into such malpractices. Public sector are exempted also. So various restrictive trade practices and legislation that is there many times exempts the public sector company. It is applicable to the private bodies. So that also is one limitation. Consumers are not in a position. Given all these things, consumers are still not in a position to fight its cause. So whether someone has formed a cartel or indulging in the malpractices, etc., for consumers, he just cannot get into that. As a result, very institutions supposed to protect the consumer interests go casual, because they say that but consumers are not coming forward, and thereby jeopardizing the consumer right and the entire activity around which it is happening. So consumer awareness has to still go to a level where consumers will be proactive. So consumer protection councils and consumer education. So we now understand about protection councils and various education initiatives in being placed. So in the Consumer Protection Act, it's an act in the Parliament of India enacted in 1986 to protect the interests of the consumer in India. So that, of course, we understood that Consumer Protection Act has come. So the Central Consumer Protection Council is there. There is a State Consumer Protection Council, District Consumer Dispute, and National Consumer Dispute level forums are also there. And there are various state level and national level literature forums also exist. Despite all this, the movement is still getting jeopardized because consumers are not coming up. So the solution to that is consumer education. So consumer education has to happen how? At a consumer level, government level, and business level. Okay. Through consumer association, use of mass media. So you create mass media based awareness, bring consumer forward, allow them a forum to attend, participate, and know about their rights, etc. So that's a consumer level. Government level, it is using conferences, TV, radio, government publication, and various other literatures and all. So among government department, among government functionaries, you create awareness that when business level, through circulars, through publicity, brochures, magazines, and guidance through various press and all, you make business aware about what they should not be doing it, and what if they do, how are they adversely affected by various protection laws, etc. So the all-round education at all level is supposed to be the answer, for which each body is trying their level best. Okay, and they are trying to create whatever is possible for the consumers. But yes, I can say that I come to know various such changes only through the press. I have never probably been approached or reached on various forum to attend or a webinar to attend, etc. At least I don't recall. It's only through the mass media I generally come aware. Maybe some of you are more aware about it, but that's how the education is supposedly the catalyst. Okay, so in this chapter we have understood everything about how consumers are subjected to malpractices and what are the preventive ways to protect his interests, which is one is a legislative way and second is a non-legislative way, which is there is a body consumer guidance society of India vis-a-vis the education and all is an approach.